Character creation can be the most enjoyable part of a tabletop RPG. It can also be the most time-consuming part. Now, character creation being time-consuming isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's good for beginners because it gives them time to familiarize themselves with the rules of the game, and you're going to be playing this character for a long time probably, so it'll be good to make sure that you have a character that you think will be fun to play. But maybe you've been around the block and you just want to roll up a random character and get straight to the game. Well, lucky for you, lots of games cater to this mindset. Dungeon Crawl Classics has a random generator for 0-level characters. Other games like Into the Odd and Merkborg have random character creation as the default method. Very cool, but what about those who are playing the 5th edition of the most popular RPG? Well, you can randomly generate your ability scores, your personality traits, and starting money. Other than that, it's still up to you to choose your race, class, background, alignment, and how you spend your starting money. That's hardly a randomly generated character. So if you want to have a random 5e character, you gotta use an online generator, like fastcharacter.com. But do you feel good about that? You just clicked a button and there's your character. That's lame. We don't play RPGs to click buttons. We play RPGs to roll funny-shaped dice. So with all that in mind, I present to you the 5th edition Random Character Generator. Guaranteed to give you a completely random character and the satisfaction of rolling lots of funky dice within 10 minutes, give or take. The character generator chart features roll 4d6, drop lowest down the line ability scores, random tables for races, sub-races, backgrounds, languages, classes and class features, skills, spells, alignment, and equipment selection. To showcase this table, let's make a character right now. So here we are at my computer, and we're going to give this random generator chart a spin. So we will start with generating our ability scores. It's 4d6, drop the lowest down the line. So that's 15 strength, a 9 dexterity, an 11 constitution, 12 intellect, 10 wisdom, and a 14 charisma. So now we're going to generate our starting race. For that we will take the d20. 15, so we have a Dragonborn. And then we roll on chart DA to determine Draconic ancestry. 7, so that is a green ancestry. Take out the trusty handbook. Charisma goes up by 1, and strength goes up by 2, giving us a 17 strength and a 15 charisma. 30-foot speed, poison breath weapon, resistance to poison, and common and draconic as languages. So next we will roll our background. We need a d30 for that. Luckily I have one, and you will too if you have a Dungeon Crawl Classics dice set. 25, so that's a sailor. Now we move on to class. Take the old d12. 1, so we got a fighter. So for the fighter, we have to roll twice on chart S1 and once on chart FS. So that's for our skills and our fighting style. Let's start with the fighting style. 1, so that is archery is our fighting style. Now we'll move on to the skill chart. We roll a d8 twice. Acrobatics. And history. We don't have any spells, so we don't need to worry about that. Alignment. So we use chart A1 since he's a fighter. We roll a d9, which I don't have at the moment, so we'll just roll a d10 and re-roll it if it's a 0. 4. Lawful neutral. And finally, we're at starting equipment. So we will take the class starting equipment list. So first bullet is chainmail or leather armor, longbow, and 20 arrows. So we'll take an even numbered die. We'll do the d20. If it's 1 through 10, we'll take the chainmail. 11 through 20, we'll take the other one. 9, so we have chainmail. Next one, a martial weapon and a shield, or 2 martial weapons. 18, so we'll take offer B, 2 martial weapons. Martial weapon roll a d23, so I will take the d24 and re-roll any 24s. 18, so we have a whip and a short sword. Next one, a light crossbow or 2 hand axes. The 2 hand axes. And then finally a Dungeoneer's pack or Explorer's pack. 16, so that will be the Explorer's pack. And there we have it, our character is basically done. So we have a Green Dragonborn fighter who is a sailor. Archery is his fighting style, though ironically he only has hand axes as a thrown weapon. No bows or crossbows. And let's see, last thing is a name. So we don't have a random generator for a name. I think it's important that you come up with your own name. What can we call this guy? Crow's Feet Aberman. Alright, and with that, we've randomly generated our character. Crow's Feet Aberman, the Dragonborn fighter who used to be a sailor, and, what a mess. It's definitely an interesting character looking at it, you know. I mean, the strength is pretty high. Charisma is his second highest, which is, I think, pretty interesting for a fighter. I think one could have a lot of fun with this character. In fact, if I find myself in need of a new character, I might actually use Crow's Feet. Obviously, the chart has a few bugs. For starters, not all the tables have common dice. There are a few odd-numbered dice, and while having a set of Dungeon Crawl Classics dice will help, you'll still need to either roll dice and ignore high results, or use an online dice roller. Second, not all the tables are truly random. In particular, the race chart. It's skewed in favor of the standard player's handbook races, and heavily skewed in favor of humans, dwarves, elves, and halflings. But I have a reason for that. To quote the 5th edition player's handbook, the Dragonborn and the rest of the races in this chapter, that being gnomes, half-elves, half-orcs, and tieflings, are uncommon. They are less widespread than dwarves, elves, halflings, and humans. With that in mind, and in an effort to use a d20 for the race generation table instead of a d47, I've given greater chances to roll a more common race like a human or dwarf. If you take offense to that, I've also created a true random generation table, though the dice values on that are even more headache-inducing. Regardless, I invite all of you to try out this chart. The link is in the description. If you do try the chart, feel free to let me know what kind of character you rolled up in the comments section. Also, feel free to tweak my charts if you don't like them. That's about all I have to say. Goodbye.